Hey guys and friends and crafters, welcome back to Race Create Cards. First time here, welcome to Race Create Cards. Guys, I got a few of my goodies in the other day. I've still got another order on the way, and I could not wait to get my hands on textured floral. And I haven't been able to play with all the goodies that I got, but I thought, you got to start someplace. I gravitated to this set in the new catalog because we lost True Beauty, and I don't have my set out anymore. I think I've already got it stacked up in my retired stuff, but it's very similar in the way the petals of the flowers and everything look. Now, the two stamp sets, yes, are totally different, but I was really sad to lose True Beauty, and so I couldn't wait to get my hands on this. All day yesterday, a lot of you know I work 2 days a week still outside the home, Monday and Tuesday, so those days for me are, they're just shot. There's nothing I can do about the hours that I work, and it just totally blows my whole Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is really the first chance I have, but yours truly cleaned house yesterday. So, I finally got in here yesterday evening and was playing a little bit with a card layout, and I wanted to use some of the new colors and this stamp set, and this is what I came up with. Are you guys ready to make this with me today? I love this. So I have used Berry Burst and Lost Lagoon. Now, Lost Lagoon is a returning color from a few years ago, but I was not a card maker. I was not with Stampin' Up! When Lost Lagoon. So I have been excited to play with it. I hadn't even opened the cardstock until I got ready to put this card together. And can you see that 3-pack of embossing folders that's in the online exclusives? Yep. I told you guys I wasn't really sure about those little raised dots, but aren't they cute on this card? I thought they were adorable. Now, the DSP that I'm using, and as you can tell, I've already been chopping into my pack, but this is Glorious Gingham 6x6 paper. You have Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Lemon Lime Twist, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. And so you've got all your colors in here, and then you have a bigger check on one side and a small check on the other side. And so, yeah, it's a wonderful pack of paper. Also, the first time I had opened it, and it was the first time I had opened my Berry Burst cardstock and actually got to use the ink pad. I got into it a few times. That's okay. That's normal for me, though, right? So, our two colors that we're using today is just Berry Burst and Lost Lagoon. Now, I did prep a little bit of it, but not all of it. So, you'll be able to kind of watch and see how things come together. And I do have a typical Berry Burst card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and scored at 4 1/4. And then I do have a layer of the Lost Lagoon that I have not already embossed. And I should have done that before I got on camera, because I really didn't want to get the big boss out up here. Let me do that real quick. Let me emboss it with that embossing folder. And for those of you who may not have seen it, this is it, and this is what it looks like. Embosses like a dream. So I am very, very quickly going to line up my cardstock. I know I'm not on camera. It's a little crooked. Hold on, guys. Okay, so I'm getting this lined up, maybe. And there we go. Let me run that through real quick. And did I have my plate set up? Well, of course not. Now I do. All right, got it. Hopefully it didn't shift on me. Hopefully it's not crooked. It's a little bit crooked. Just a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to go with it because it's pretty much going to be in the background. And we're just going to go ahead and marry this to our cardstock. And I'm going to show you just how easy this is to put together. All right. I put a little bit extra glue because we have those hills and valleys for the embossing. And let me get that kind of mashed down. But I thought those two colors went really well together, and I hope you think the same thing. So our weather here is still kind of crazy, guys. The sun is kind of trying to come out, but not really. It's been gray. The wind has really been whipping, and it's like my plants really need some sunshine to get going. They really do. My plants have been struggling. We had such an extended cold spring. And I don't remember what I cut these at. So take your DSP. And you're going to want one that is 3 by 3. And I think this was 2 inches. Yes, 2 inches by 4. Okay. And when you're cutting your 6 by 6 DSP, it's going to be fairly easy to get these pieces and then have a little bit left over that you can actually use on another card. Now, how you want to lay yours out is totally up to you. You can split the difference between the top and the bottom. You can have the big square on top. You could have your rectangle on top. Just whatever looks good to you. If you really want to offset it some, you could do that too. You've got some flexibility with these two sizes of DSP. But what I did is I took and I used the bold on the big square and I put the small behind it. So what I did is I kind of split the difference on my longer piece of DSP, and I counted, there's about 4 rows from the top and the bottom, maybe not exactly, and that's okay. You can always offset it if you want to. And then I simply took and put a little bit of glue right back in here. I didn't want to overstep my bounds on that glue, and just gonna lay that on there about half and half, flip it back over, kind of line that up, get that a little straight, hopefully straight. That's not bad. That's not bad. And I could have brought this paper over more or over that way more. So if you decide to do this design, you do you. Now, I'm not going to have quite as much border all the way around on this card, but I did want us to have a few differences so that you could see the flexibility that you have with this. I hope it's a happy layout for you. I hope it's one that you're going to want to use. Very simple, and yes, it would be so easy to mass produce these cards. Now, I am kind of splitting the difference on the top and the bottom. Well, you can't even see. On the top and bottom. And it looks like I have, kind of a 1/4 of an inch border on each side here. So I'm just going to kind of tack that down. I maybe should have put a little bit more glue on there. I don't know. Okay, just for the minute, we're going to lay that to the side, and I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of basic white, and we're going to get ready to stamp our flowers. Now, when I was playing with this, as much as I loved Berry Burst, and I was so sad back in the day when we lost it, because that DSP is really intense, I thought it would be nice if we, I thought it would look better if it was stamped off and then stamped on for die cutting. And so that's what I did on my original card. Now, there are a few different stamps. So on my first card, I actually took that one and stamped in the middle of the flower, and it's okay. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I think I want to try a different middle. And so I've got this little bitty stamp here out of that set. And I'm going to stamp it full strength. I have no idea what that's going to look like. Let's see. I'm going to kind of tilt it so that it's kind of going in the same direction. That doesn't really show up all that great, does it? That's all right. That's fine. I'm going to put this away for the minute, and let me stamp off on my scratch paper, and then I will get this cleaned in my stamping scrub. I have 2 bottles of stamping mist that I keep nearby. This one is really old, but it still works. So I actually keep it and the new black and white bottle design close by. That way there, if I'm getting low in one, that's all right. I can keep on going until I can get to my refill bottle. All right, yes, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, guys. Fixing to go out of town again tomorrow. He was like, hurry, hurry, you got to get this done. Oh, me. I haven't really done any gardening. I've still got some babies that need to, I keep transplanting. As things get big enough and I'm transplanting, and I've got some more things that need to be transplanted. Sorry, got a tickle in my throat. All right, so now in that Lost Lagoon, I'm gonna do the leaves that fit with that big flower. But I'm loving this stamp set. I love the different texture and intensities of ink, just like with the True Beauty set when we had it. Yep. I didn't think I would let it go, guys. I really didn't. If they hadn't come out with this set, the textured floral, I probably wouldn't have let go of it. All right, so the ones that we have already used, we're going to put away, and we're fixing to get that done. However, let's go ahead and stamp the greeting. Now, on my first card, I stamped the greeting in the Lost Lagoon. I'm going to change it up, and we're going to stamp the greeting in the Berry Burst just to see how that looks overall. And then we'll get the 2 cards together, and you can tell me which one you preferred. Guys, it won't be long. Isn't that pretty though? Look at the fonts. I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Won't be long before I'll be able to do lives. I'm getting really excited. I can't hardly wait. Okay, let me clean that off real quick. I don't mind my stamps getting stained. I really don't. However, I do want to clean off the reds and the purples as quick as I can. Try to minimize, the staining. But that's just the nature of photopolymer, and it is what it is. Now, for the inside of the card, I have a piece of regular basic white. It is 4 by 5 1/4. I know, no skinny borders on today's card. It's a miracle, isn't it? And I thought what I would do is take the Lost Lagoon, and there is a stamp in there that is kind of a branch. I don't know how well you can see that. And I'm going to stamp it off very quickly. And then I was going to come to the lower left corner, about like that. I know it looks kind of funny until you get everything else in there. Close that up. And here are the petals. And oh my goodness. All right, evidently, yep, I've already got Berry Burst on me. Isn't it great when you have brand new juicy pads? It's kind of hard to stay out of it, isn't it? And now I've got to try to remember which way these line up. Make sure I've got it inked. Okay. So your big bloom is going to be at the bottom, and then this one that's not quite as big with the 2 under it are going to be right under there. So I'm going to stamp this off real quick. I do want some color, and it's not going to be too hard to line up. However, let me get out my original card because I didn't have any issues first time getting that to line up. Okay, so this big one is going to be right about there. That one right about there. And I'm trying, you kind of have to tilt it just a little bit to get everything to line up. And I'm looking to see where I'm at. I may have tilted that too much at that point. Let me see what I got going here. All right. Because I don't want to just plop it down anywhere. Okay. Right about there, I think. And I can't be right over it. So if I'm off a little bit, sorry guys. I hope I'm not. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Just almost like a watercolor look. It's really nice. And I've got to close this up before I get into it again. Because I will. I'll get into it. Well, I hope everybody's been having a really good week. It's been a really good week here. We're getting ready for VBS at church. Oh, and speaking of church, I have also been trying to get our welcome cards for new members redesigned. And wasn't sure whether I should show any of you guys that on camera or not, because I'm not using Stampin' Up! Products on my welcome card. I'm not. We have a wonderful welcome stamp set. I want to say it's called Welcome Home, but it wasn't what I had envisioned to make for new members at church. I wanted something that was male or female, okay, young or old, didn't matter, and something that was inviting without being too loud or too pastel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was trying to find that perfect look so that it would appeal to anyone and everyone. Okay, now on my sentiment, I'm going to do the same thing that I did on my card. And I'm just going to hand cut it on my trimmer. And I think I'm in camera there. And I can't tell you how to cut it. You're going to either die cut your own. I want about the same amount of distance on top and bottom. Here we go. And you may want to die cut yours. Honestly, I could have used the stitched rectangle dies, but they've retired, so, you know, and you never know if there's somebody new that hops in, and a lot of us have the stitched rectangle dies because we had them for several years. Or you may even have some rectangle dies from another company that would have fit. But I thought, you know, just in case somebody doesn't have a die that would fit, let's just go ahead and trim it out on the trimmer. So that's what I did there. Now, let me move this and let me get my dies. I haven't even shown you the inside. Let me pick this up so that you can see all the things and the splatter stamp. You gotta love those splatter stamps. And I don't even know if you saw the sentiments other than the one that we just stamped. You've got some extra foliage dies too to really kind of help you fill it out. And so here's the outline for the flower, and here's the outline for the leaves. So I'm going to take this out and take that out. Put this right back in here. And we're going to get this ready to die cut. Now on this set, because it's so easy to know how to line up, I didn't mark my stamp and then mark my dies. You don't have to with this set. let me get some of my Post-it note tape. And since that's a brand new piece, I won't need anything really big. It should hold it pretty well. It'll have all of its good little sticky. So I'm going to put that there. And I hopefully didn't stamp those so close together. Yep, I did. I'm going to have to die cut it separate. That's all right. I'm going to bring in the Little Boss, the Mini Me. Guys, if you don't have one of these, let me tell you, I'm using mine more and more and more. I am loving it. It's just easier to pick up and tote around and have on camera, etc., etc. Yeah, we're getting ready for our VBS, and we have a work day at church that is coming up because literally the whole church building is going to be transformed. Okay, so here's our flower. I'm going to lay that there, and let's go ahead and get... My plates are starting to bow just a little bit, and so I've had to flip them, and it won't be but a few times of running it through. They'll be flat again. My plates for my big machine are perfectly flat, but they're getting well etched. All right, let's put that right there. Well, all right, bigger piece. It is kind of a big die. It's kind of spread out. Let me grab a bigger piece of the... Now we'll get it. Now it won't come apart. Lay this on here. But I can't believe how much I'm liking that Lost Lagoon. I'm loving this color. It is not even close to a color we had, and we lost it a couple of years ago, Just Jade. Do y'all remember Just Jade? I hated that we lost Just Jade, and I'll tell you why. Just Jade not only was a pretty green, it had some blue in it. And you could get Just Jade to go with some other colors where a traditional green or an olive green just would not have worked. But because it did have just a hint of a blue tone, I was able to make that color work for me many times when something else just would not have worked. So I am happy to have this Lost Lagoon. I'm really liking the color. You know, when I first saw it, it's like, oh. But it's actually an awesome color. It's really nice. This was a brand new piece, but it let go. Stick it over to the side. All right, let me get my dies back in my case. Okay, I'm going to put that one there, put that one there. We're good. And I can't wait to play even more with this set. Haven't even tapped into all it can do. And I sometimes wonder if we ever tap into all it can do. Any stamp set that we have. Okay. All right. Got it, got it. So yeah, I had 2 sun patients last year that thrived in our area here in East Tennessee. And they were gorgeous and they were awesome, but they were annuals. And I knew they were annuals. And I knew, okay, back to the card real quick. I'm just putting a little bit of glue just right down here because I'm not real sure how my leaf is going to line up yet. And I know if I put glue right there, I'm going to be okay to kind of line that up. Now, you can take, if you put your flower way down on it, you see how it covers up one of the leaves? And I thought, well, I don't really want to cover that totally up. So I tilted my flower just a little bit so some of that could peek out. But you can do you. But anyway, it's an annual, right? And I didn't want to lose it. It was just incredibly beautiful. And so we lucked out and we found the exact same plants. Now, I dug them up. I put them in some good-sized pots and brought them inside for the winter. And I played heck trying to get them to look right, trying to make sure that they were getting enough sunlight and not coming out spindly all winter long. Then took and transplanted them once I knew the nighttime temperatures were not going to be too cold. And one of them, so we've been having some high winds here. I mean, we have, for days and days and days. And it's almost like, wow, is this wind ever going to stop? I don't know. It broke one of my plants, all but one stalk. And the other one has hung in there, but it's not looking real happy. So I found two identical ones at, I want to say it was at Home Depot or Lowe's. We go to both. And so I was so happy to bring them home. And there they sit in their original pots on my front porch. And they're going, help, help. Okay. Now, when you get ready to add your elements, whatever elements you have decided to add, you figure out where you want to add yours. And honestly, I'm just going to stick that right there. I wanted the flower coming up just a little bit up above the DSP so that it was kind of putting all the different elements together on the card. Does that even make sense? Now, I'm going to pop up the sentiment too, but I'm going to use my foam adhesive sheets. And I usually have scraps in here. I did for the card I did earlier. Let's see. Let's take another piece, and I'm going to, right about here. I'm going to cut this all the way in. Oh, I hope I didn't grab my ribbon scissors. I hope I didn't. All right. So I've got that cut. I'm going to cut it right about here. All right. Don't throw your pieces away, guys. You know you can use them no matter how small they might be. And let's go ahead and put this on here. And then I want to show you guys, I did order some of that brand new bling, more of that brand new bling. And you can't even see what I don't know what's up with my camera placement today. It's not showing the way it normally would. But I thought because this piece was so wide and kind of long, that it would make more sense to use one of those foam pieces. And so at this point, I can choose to sketch it up there real close to my flower. I could put it way down here. I don't really like it way down there. Let's do this. Let's just kind of bring it across where it's bridging both patterns. There we go. Not bad. Now, I did get into I hadn't used it in a little while, into my linen thread. And you get 4 different rolls from very small to medium to large. And then there's one, I guess it's kind of in between, or maybe it's 2 small ones. Anyway, I don't normally use the largest, but I really liked how it looked on this card to have the largest one. So I'm kind of straighten that out here. And I'm just going to make a little bow that we can put on our card. Nice neutral color. And you know, I have got still some retired ribbons that are still put away in a box. I know, guys. Out of sight, out of mind. I totally forgot I had it, and I got to thinking. I thought, I wonder if that original berry burst ribbon is still packed away, because guys, it was gorgeous. If I find I still have it, I absolutely will get it out and use it. If I remember right, it had a silver metallic edge on both sides of that pretty berry burst ribbon. And let me get my ribbon scissors here. And I loved it. Loved it. It was beautiful. I hated to let it go. All right, so there's our bow. May still trim a little bit more of that off. Get my glue dots out. All right, let's figure out. This one is not going to look identical to my first one. You'll see that here in a minute. So let's figure out kind of where we want that. Do we want to put it right down there? It doesn't really cover up the words because that's so small. Do we want it right here? I'm kind of leaning that way because I think it would look funny up here by itself. So I'm kind of leaning that way. Get out a glue dot. And I'm not even going to get out my take your pick tool. I'm just going to pick this little thing up. Kind of squish him a little bit. Out from under my fingernail, which are still dirt stained, by the way. I can't stay out of stuff, guys. And I love it. I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot more energy after I have been outside working in the sun, playing in the dirt. It is just so therapeutic. We did have a couple of days of sunshine, and my plants started taking off. It's like, oh, yeah, we're digging this. And here we go. It's cloudy. It was quite a bit yesterday, too. We had more sun yesterday than what we have today, but anyway, maybe one of these days. Now, I told you I had ordered some more bling, and I did. I haven't opened these. These are called the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And the colors, I went ahead and wrote it on the back. Pretty Peacock, Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist. So I could have used these on the card, but I'm going to take the whole thing out because Lemon Lime Twist is hiding right up here and you can't see them. Now, they're called, there's one pack that's called the Tinsel Gems 3-pack and the 4-pack, and this is the 4-pack. And I don't know how well, but there are teeny tiny slivers of almost like little filaments of tinsel that is in each one, and no two are alike. It's a random thing. I don't know how well that will pick up for you, if at all. And so I thought, well, I've got to order these. I've got to see for myself what is going on. And we're not going to use the 4-pack today. I actually opened up and used the 3-pack. And this is the Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, and Lost Lagoon. And I thought, you know, Berry Burst is such a powerful statement. It is such a bold color that I thought what we would do would be to use the Lost Lagoon on here. So, there we go. Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, Lost Lagoon. Aren't they gorgeous? Now I do need my take your pick tool. There it is. And we're going to take these out. And I used the big ones. You may not have noticed that on the other card yet, but I did. I used the big ones. And we're just going to, I think that was a perfect matching color. So when you put it like right there with the Lost Lagoon, do you see how perfect that is? Oh my goodness. You don't usually get that much perfection. We'll pop one right about there. Let's do a third one. We can pop it. Let's pop it down here. Just to be different. All right, let me put those to the side. And there is our finished card that we just made together. So simple, right? Now that I have got everything else out of the way, and let me make sure I'm in camera. And here's my first one. And here's the second one. I don't know. I think I kind of prefer maybe that bigger middle piece. And there's even a third one in there, I think. Let's see. Yes, there is this one. Now, I didn't do it on cardstock. I did when I was playing around with it earlier, and I think that piece is already in the trash on scrap paper. I tried that, and I really did not care for it on this card. And if you look in the middle of that flower there, it almost looks like stamens that are coming up and out, which is why I did that on the first card. But then when I did stamp it, I wasn't real sure how that looked, if that was a good look or not. Okay, so what do you think, guys? On this one, the sentiment is in Lost Lagoon, and on this one, it is in the Berry Burst. Basically the same card. We just kind of tilted the flower the other way and changed up the color for the sentiment. The two pieces of DSP exactly the same. This is the same. Everything else is the same. I hope you enjoyed this layout. I hope it is something you can take and use and play with and adapt to your own liking. And let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. So I'm going to be out of town this weekend. As I'm filming this, it is Thursday. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon on May the 18th. And I don't know. I wish I had more to offer you or give you, but I'm kind of under the gun. But I got to tell you, it did feel good just to clean house all day yesterday and get things done. Got all my floors scrubbed, you know, swept, mopped, vacuumed, the whole thing. So, y'all have a very blessed weekend. Please know you are loved, and God is good all the time. Bye.